It is my great pleasure to call on National Commander, pay attention to this word, elect, Parsetich for remarks.
You know, all the comedians aren't out of work. Some of them are still employed here. Thank you, Commander Marshall. But before I get started, let me ask my wife, Meg, to please step up to my side. As I accept the responsibility that you're placing in my hands today, the love of my wife and my closest, dearest friend, Meg, has been with me every step of the way. She's a sometimes quiet, yet determined leader in the auxiliary, and Meg has been a tremendous advocate in our shared mission of service. In a way, our bond is similar to the partnership between the DAV and the auxiliary, and I wouldn't be here right now without her. Thank you, sweetheart. That was tough. Before I continue, I would be remiss if I didn't thank our Heavenly Father for making all of this possible by blessing me with a godly and supportive wife, my good health, many awesome children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and most of all of my extended DAV family. Thank you. I've also been blessed with a strong team of National Line officers and NECs. I know they will help me as we continue to serve and represent you and your families. And that starts at the top. Thank you, Andy, for your special leadership over the past year. You've set a great example for all of your fellow veterans, and you've dedicated a lifetime to ensuring the promises that we've made to veterans are kept. You've left some big shoes to fill, and I'm truly humbled to follow in your footsteps after all you've accomplished as our national commander. Thank you. And any leader's success is directly attributed to the support team of advisors, and I'm here to tell you that we here at the DAV have the best in the nation. I'm going to try to name a few, and I always hate to do that because I know I'm going to leave somebody out, but here goes. My right-hand man and our National Adjutant, Mark Burgess, has been incredibly generous in teaching me through his example about how to be an effective leader. Mark's knowledge and stewardship of DAV's missions, operations, and culture are unsurpassed. The job that he's done over the many years has been remarkable and accounts for DAV's continued growth and prominence. Barry Jesenowski, our CFO and COO, and his team at National Headquarters make every aspect of DAV's mission possible. Your programs and the momentum that you generate are a testament to your thoughtful leadership. Our headquarters team cares tremendously about our folks in the field, and you provide critical support for our leaders and volunteers who carry out our mission where the rubber meets the road. Thank you for your support. And Randy Reese, our Executive Director of DAV's National Service and Legislative Headquarters, and his team, his leadership team in DC and around the country are truly remarkable. Their contributions ensure promises are kept in an impactful and substantive way that touches the lives of everyone that we represent. Thank you, Randy, and please extend my gratitude to your team members for their tremendous work. You do a great job on Capitol Hill and in our service offices nationwide, representing all of our fellow veterans' interests. You know, I've had many friends help me on this journey, but before I even knew this was something I wanted to do, Danny Oliver, the stand-up comic of the Department of Oklahoma, was my sounding board. He's been a tremendous advocate and counselor, and with Danny's guidance and his mentorship, he's made this opportunity possible. But I also need to thank the Department of Montana and the NEC District 14 for their steadfast support. Will my fellow Big Sky veterans and district members please stand up and be recognized? You know, folks, this is as much your achievement as it is mine, and I thank all of you for the support you've given me over the years. And though there are many people who are part of this moment, I want to thank Senator John Tester of my home state of Montana for his friendship and the productive way that he's helped veterans in partnership with DAV. We are a fiercely nonpartisan organization, and I have tremendous appreciation for how Senator Tester has put veterans above the fray. He consistently works across the aisle to put the true interests of the heroes that we represent first, and I look forward to our collaboration in the coming year. The bond that we share as individuals whose lives were forever changed through military service is unique and special. The profession of arms is one that is inherently dangerous. Wearing our nation's uniform is not a common job. It's highly uncommon. Just qualifying for military service requires a high level of character, integrity, fitness, and health. And when someone's abilities are lessened while they're sacrificing for our national defense and freedoms, the obligation that we have to them is sacred. When we consider the highest honors that recognize military service, we see the commitment and selflessness that we value most of all. You know, nearly 1 in 5 recipients of the Medal of Honor are recognized posthumously. And I want to talk briefly about some fellow Montanans who, among these honored few, sacrificed everything for their brothers and sisters on the battlefield. Donald J. Rule, he was a native of Columbus, Montana, and a combat veteran of Bougainville. He was transported part of the way to Iwo Jima on the USS Missoula, and after distinguishing himself in combat and saving the life of a wounded brother on Iwo's D-Day, he participated in the attack on Mount Suribachi. When an enemy's grenade landed between Rule and his sergeant, he called out a warning and then dove on it. By absorbing his full charge with his body, he saved the lives of many fellow Marines. William Wiley Galt was a native of Geyser, Montana, and by the time he arrived in Italy in 1944, he'd already been wounded in North Africa at Monte Cassino. On May 29th, the 24-year-old Army captain was commanding operations against entrenched German positions. When a second attack stalled the patrol, he charged to the front of his battalion, manned a turret of a tank destroyer, and personally led an assault. Fully exposed to snipers and machine guns, he fired at the enemy and lobbed grenades into their trenches. He was killed by an enemy's bullet, but not before he managed to even the odds for his troops. He personally took out 40 determined enemy soldiers and helped end a very dangerous stalemate. And then Travis Atkins, a Bozeman native, grew up camping, fishing, and snowmobiling. He hadn't been in the Army a full year when terrorists attacked the Twin Towers in New York. He served in the invasion of Iraq as an infantry fire team leader. And after being discharged in late 2003, he took a break in service to go back to school. But he felt called again and re-enlisted in December of 2005 into his old battalion. On June 1st of 2007, his squad was pulling route security in Abu Shamak in Iraq when they saw 2 suspected insurgents. The men were acting suspicious, so Atkins dismounted to do a search. He soon found himself in hand-to-hand combat and realized that one of the men he was fighting was wearing explosives. As the enemy went to detonate his suicide vest, Atkins wrapped him up and threw him away from his fellow soldiers. Aware of the price he would pay, Atkins placed himself on top of the terrorist and pinned him to the ground, shielding the troops and bearing the brunt of his blast that followed. In giving his own life, he saved 3 of his fellow soldiers. You know, these are just some of the actions of the hallowed brave who symbolize the highest standards of military service. Few are ever called that will ever come close to encountering the test that these men faced. And many, many fewer would react with the selflessness and courage that they displayed in their final moments. But all of us can be inspired through their selflessness to give more of ourselves. This sense of teamwork is the very DNA that veterans possess. It's also in the DNA of every member of the DAV, going back to Judge Robert Marks. After all, our founder himself received a Distinguished Service Cross by putting himself in danger. In doing so, he sacrificed tremendously to deliver his soldiers from harm's way in the final moments of World War I. We honor the sacrifices of our bravest when we give of our time and talents to improve the lives of our brothers and sisters and their survivors. Yet again this year, we will be given the chance to answer the call through DAV. Whether that is through our legislative efforts, volunteerism, or benefits advocacy, our organization will always give us the opportunity to forever change the lives of the people that we represent and their families. We must continue to seize the moments where we can make a difference. We must be a source of hope when all else seems lost. And that's what DAV has meant to me, and I know means to so many of you who have been disregarded when your time in uniform had ended. I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to serve alongside of you in the important mission that we all share. But foremost, I want to thank you, and I want you to understand just how humbled I am by this opportunity and how hard I will work to honor your service as we contribute to the good fight that we wage for justice. May God bless all of you. God bless our DAV, and God bless our United States of America.
Congratulations, my friend.